Well, it is 12:30, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Sherry Saunders. I'm Area Executive for Girl Scouts of Greater Atlanta, and I started working with the United Methodist Committee on Scouting just over a year ago, and was excited to meet Cara Ball this year and get her involved. And I'm super excited to have her partnering with us to present My Promise, My Faith, and to be growing our religious organization connections. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Cara, let her introduce herself and tell you more about her role.
Great. Thank you so much, Sherry, and welcome to everybody. It is really great to be with you today. For those of you who I haven't had a chance to meet, just a little bit about me. I'm the Director of Faith-Based Partnerships with Girl Scouts USA. I actually live here in Virginia, and I'm in the nation's capital Girl Scout Council region, so a special welcome to my Nation's Cap Council colleagues and friends. On a personal note, my faith is really the most important thing in my life. I'm also married to a Baptist reverend. So I'm really excited to be with you today to share more information about the Girl Scouts programs that help a girl connect her faith to her leadership journey, and also share more information about how you as leaders can work with your faith partners to build and sustain successful relationships that advance our shared mission and growth. So next slide, please. So we wanted to go ahead and just start with a little poll. It's not really a poll, but it's the spirit of a poll. So if you could just put in the chat box whether or not you've ever organized or been a part of a My Promise, My Faith event or activity. Just put a little yes or a no. Great. Great. We're seeing a lot of yeses and also some nos. Both are totally fine. The session is really designed for both of you because for whether or not you've participated in these events or these activities, because those of you who are new to My Promise, My Faith, Sherry's going to be sharing a lot of good detailed information, but also good information about, for those of you who have participated before, how you can expand and elevate this work and serve even more girls. So next slide, please. And for those of you who might even be new to working with faith partners, we hope today has been very informative. Just some basic background that Girl Scouts is welcoming and inclusive to girls of all faiths. We have been partnering with our faith partners since our inception, and I'd like to give a special thank you and welcome to our Academy hosts, the Catholic and United Methodists. A little bit of trivia is that the second Girl Scout troop ever formed was at a United Methodist church in Florida in 1913. So our partnership goes way back. And the reason we have such strong partnerships with our faith partners is because we have our shared values of wanting to serve and support girls, help them connect their faith and their leadership journey, and really build girls who are compassionate leaders in their community. We also know that a number of our, majority of our members religiously affiliate. So strengthening ties with your faith partners is a really great way to advance both your mission and your growth goals, and strengthen your ties to your communities. Next slide, please. So we work together in a number of ways. We've heard a lot today about the religious awards. We'll be talking about the My Promise, My Faith Girl Scout pin. We also, during this time of COVID, have been expanding our engagement and outreach virtually to keep engaged with our faith partners. One of the things we'll be doing in June is offering an interfaith event for girls to learn more about how their faith can support them and equip them to support others during this time of COVID. We hope this is an opportunity we'll have for our faith partners as well to share more information about how they can support girls. This picture is, many of you know Stephen Scheid, who will be hosting a fireside chat after this session, and this is Jason Noland, who's the CEO of P.R.A.Y. Attended Girl Scouts membership conference in February with over 700 Girl Scouts Council staff to share information about ways that their organizations can support Girl Scouts. There's many other ways that our faith partners support us, so we're glad you're here to learn, and we look forward to continuing the conversation even after this session. So next slide, please. Many of you with us today are already leading in the sphere, so thank you for your leadership. I would also like to give a special thank you to our Girl Scout Council thought partners, many of whom are also with us today on this call, who help guide our work at the national level. These are the councils who are represented on our committee. And would like to also give a special thank you to Girl Scouts of Greater Atlanta for inviting us to participate today. Next slide, please. Girl Scouts also has a national interfaith committee comprised of the liaisons of our faith partners. So this is a national committee. We were actually hoping to have an in-person committee meeting in October in Florida when we were going to have our 3-year annual or triennial event, Girl 2020. We host every 3 years. Unfortunately, that has been canceled because of COVID, so we are hoping to meet later in the year virtually. And I'd like to give a welcome and a thank you to our faith partners who are here, a number of who have been mentioned today. Eastern Orthodox Committee on Scouting is with us today. Welcome, and just welcome to all of our faith partners who are here. Next slide, please. And one specific thing that has come out of the many good things that have come out of our Interfaith Committee work is the recommendation by the committee for Girl Scouts to have a faith-based programs coordinator position, which is a position within Girl Scouts that promotes religious emblems for girls to earn. So it helps to strengthen awareness and engagement in the religious emblems programming. It also helps to raise awareness of how to connect and engage with your faith partners. So I'm now going to turn it over to Sherry, who's going to share more information on the My Promise, My Faith. Thank you.
Thank you, Cara. Wanted to start because we may have some members in the audience who are not familiar with the Girl Scout mission and vision. So start with a little background on Girl Scouts. Our mission is to build girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. Our vision is Girl Scouts strives to be the premier leadership organization for girls and experts on their growth and development. A little bit of our history. Girl Scouts was founded in 1912 by Juliette Gordon Low, and it was after she met Sir Robert Baden-Powell. For those of you that are familiar with Mr. Powell, Girl Scouts is the largest girl-serving organization in the United States and the largest member of the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, a sisterhood of close to 10 million girls and adults in 145 countries. Girl Scouts and faith. Everything in Girl Scouting is based on the Girl Scout Promise and Law, which includes many of the principles and values common across religions. So while we are a secular organization, Girl Scouts has always encouraged girls to take spiritual journeys via their faith's religious recognitions. Faith organizations regularly partner with Girl Scout councils to more closely link their religious recognitions with the national My Promise, My Faith pin. Adult volunteers advise girls along their personal faith journey and help them strengthen their own understanding of their faith. The Girl Scout Promise and Law. In our promise, we do say to serve God and my country. And that is the line that we are going to refer to today as we connect to religious awards and the My Promise, My Faith. And also, we want to stress that the My Promise, My Faith is based on the lines of the Girl Scout law. The girls choose one line from the law when they are working on this pin. My Promise, My Faith pin complements the religious recognitions. One of the requirements is to keep the connection strong. Girls are instructed to find out if your faith community offers a recognition program for Girl Scouts. And Girl Scouts encourages girls to grow in their faith. The My Promise, My Faith pin is created by the Girl Scouts of the USA and is found in the Girl's Guide to Girl Scouting, may be earned every year, and is worn on the front of the uniform. You will notice as the pins are displayed here on this slide, there's 2 blue, 2 brown, 2 purple, 3 red, 2 orange, 2 gold. That represents each year of Girl Scouts. 2 years as a daisy, 2 years as a brownie, 2 years as a junior, 3 years as a cadet, 2 as a senior, and 2 as an ambassador. And here is a picture of the different program levels and the uniforms that represent those levels. And the pins are worn on the front of the uniform. Make the Connection is a resource for girls and adults that can be downloaded from the GSUSA website on the Girl Scouts and Faith page. This handout will help girls get started on their My Promise, My Faith journey. There are 2 handouts. The one on the left is for younger girls. The one on the right is for older girls. These are multi-page and can be downloaded from the GSUSA website. What are the requirements of the My Promise, My Faith pin? This handout and others will be available to you in the Dropbox, which will be sent to you at the end of the day. We're going to walk through the steps to earn the My Promise, My Faith pin. The first step is to choose one line from the Girl Scout law. Then find a story, song, or poem from your faith with the same ideas. Talk with your family or friends about what that line of the law and the story, song, or poem have in common. The next step is to find a woman in your own or another faith community. Ask her how she tries to use that line of the law in her life. Then gather 3 inspirational quotes by women that fit the line of the Girl Scout law. Put them where the girl will see them every day. And then make something to remind you of what you've earned. These are all activities for the girls to do. It might be a drawing, painting, or poster. You could also make up a story or a skit. The last step is to keep the connection strong. Find out if your faith community offers a recognition program for Girl Scouts. Talk with your friends, family, or a group in your faith community about what you've learned about your faith and Girl Scouting. Ask them to help you live the law and your faith. Maybe you can show them what you made or perform the skit. Adults are part of the process, and faith organizations are encouraged to have adults reach out to Girl Scouts meeting at the church to encourage them to explore their faith to earn this award. So if the requirements are the same year to year, isn't it boring to do them over and over? Let's talk about some ideas on hosting My Promise, My Faith events and offering girls annual opportunities to connect Girl Scouting to their faith. Hosting a My Promise, My Faith event can be done within a troop or in a partnership with a faith organization or as part of a larger community event, such as a service unit, or even over a campout. My Promise, My Faith can be held as an interfaith event. Invite women of different faiths together to a community event to help the girls earn their pin. Incorporate My Promise, My Faith into a retreat type event such as a P.R.A.Y. A Girl Scout community, pictured here, had a mother-daughter My Promise, My Faith campout. Participants earned their My Promise, My Faith pin, as well as their P.R.A.Y, Bible Basics, the Good Book, Respect Authority, was the line of the Girl Scout law that they chose, and a local high school teacher was invited out to talk with the Scouts about respecting authority. So some of you are now thinking, what is Bible Basics and the P.R.A.Y program? The P.R.A.Y program offers the tools needed for religious awards programs that have been created by the national religious organizations and committees, not by Girl Scouts of the USA. These programs encourage girls and young women to become more active members of their own religious groups and encourage spiritual development by providing specific religious instruction. These programs offer recognitions or pins that are approved to wear on the official Girl Scout uniform. P.R.A.Y develops a religious emblems curriculum and recognition program for Protestant and independent Christian churches. Their mission is to bring children, youth, and families to Christ. Religious emblems exist for other faiths but are not created by P.R.A.Y. As a partner with faiths in the promotion of religious emblems, the P.R.A.Y office also serves as the religious emblems partner for congregations of Community of Christ, the Eastern Orthodox Committee on Scouting, the National Jewish Committee on Scouting, and the National Catholic Committee on Scouting. Although these emblems are made available through P.R.A.Y, their respective committees retain full responsibility for the eligibility guidelines and curriculum development of their emblem programs. Remember, P.R.A.Y creates only the Protestant and Independent Christian Award Series. This information can be found at praypub.org and then /partner_GSUSA. That is where you will see the materials that are specific to Girl Scouts. There's also many other resources available on that website. This slide here talks a little bit more about the programs and tying them to the lines of the law. The RP3 Bible patches are patch programs that connect with these different lines of the law. Respect Authority is the Good Book, Wind of the Spirit, Courageous and Strong, Out of the Water, and so on. So if you were planning an event, you could pick a line of the Girl Scout law to focus on to earn the My Promise, My Faith pin, and then you could pick one of the RP3 Bible patches to earn at the same event. The resources for the RP3 Bible patches can be downloaded from praypub.org, and they are free. You can also order the patches from that website. Some of you may have already attended one of the sessions offered earlier regarding the Catholic religious emblem programs. And it was a bit confusing to me at first, so I wanted to share this with you. There is a National Catholic Committee for Girl Scouts, and there is a Catholic Committee for Boy Scouts. So you want to be sure, if you're interested in Girl Scout awards, be looking at the National Catholic Committee for Girl Scouts. It's for Girl Scouts and Campfire Girls. And they serve Catholic youth and adults through quality faith-based programs. They oversee and develops, implements, evaluates religious recognition programs and training opportunities for diocesan and parish leadership and for Catholic leaders in Girl Scouting and Campfire. So if you have questions, this website is the place to go. There is also a National Jewish Committee on Girl Scouting. It is a nonprofit organization which works in cooperation with Girl Scouts of the USA. Its functions are to promote Jewish Girl Scout award programs and religious services in Girl Scout councils, to assist Girl Scout councils in extending Girl Scouting in the Jewish community, and to encourage cultural exchanges with the Israel Boy and Girl Scouts Federation. It is the capacity, in this capacity, the National Jewish Committee on Girl Scouts supports Friends of Israel Scouts. There are awards available for our programs, religious programs in the Jewish community as well, for the different grade levels. And let's talk about how Girl Scouts can celebrate their faith. The Girl Scout birthday is March 12th and commemorates the day in 1912 when Juliette Gordon Lowe officially registered the organization's first 18 girl members in Savannah, Georgia. Girl Scout Week is celebrated each March, starting with Girl Scout Sunday and ending with the Girl Scout Sabbath on a Saturday. It always includes the Girl Scout birthday, which is March 12th. Girl Scout Sunday, Girl Scout Sabbath, and Girl Scout Jama give girls an opportunity to attend their place of worship and be recognized as a Girl Scout. It's the perfect time to recognize Girl Scouts who have earned their religious recognitions. Partnering with your religious organization to earn the badges, as well as having a ceremony afterwards, is another way we help connect our girls to a congregation and the congregation to Girl Scouts. There are some flyers available to share to celebrate our faith. These flyers are available in both English and Spanish and are available for your council to personalize with your council logo. All of these flyers will be available as handouts in the Dropbox. And they are also available on the Girl Scouts, the GSUSA page, Girl Scouting in Faith. And these are some sample service ideas for Girl Scout Sunday, Girl Scout Sabbath, Girl Scout Jama. And then celebrating your faith through Girl Scout Week. These documents provide ideas of how to incorporate Girl Scouts into worship services, how to engage a congregation before and after the service. They include ideas for promoting the good work Girl Scouts is doing in your community. And again, they are available in bilingual formats. They're also replacing any earlier versions of Girl Scout Sunday or Girl Scout Sabbath service ideas that you might have. So please do download these new resources and make sure that your councils are aware of them. The United Methodist Church has also provided Girl Scout Sunday resources for their houses of worship. Handouts from this class are available in the Dropbox. You can also visit the GSUSA website, girlscouts.org/faith. Visit P.R.A.Y, PRAY/partner_GSUSA.htm, the P.R.A.Y newsletter, and the National Jewish Committee on Girl Scouting. I would encourage you to spend some time on the P.R.A.Y website, as well as the GSUSA website. On the P.R.A.Y website, sign up for their monthly newsletters, get connected to your religious organization, and just learn as much as you can learn so that you can offer them I Promise My Faith program and talk about the other religious awards. Cara, is there anything more you'd like to add?
No, thanks so much, Sherry. We've been getting some good questions in the chat box. I've been trying to answer them as they go along. A number of you have asked for where these resources could be obtained. Everything that Sherry talked about will be posted in this Post Academy online site, which is called Dropbox. We also have some of these resources posted online on the Girl Scouts website, so girlscouts.org and Faith. And for those who are part of the Girl Scout community, all these resources are also posted on the Girl Scout site called GS Connect. You can feel free to follow up with me to find out more about those. We also have been getting some questions about the Interfaith event, and we will definitely be sharing. We hope to have the registration link able to share by next week, so we'll make sure everybody gets that as well. And the next, so we can keep this slide up. When we're done, we'll also have a slide with our contact information. Should any questions, we've got time for questions now. So we'd love to dialogue with you now. And then in addition, we'll have, we invite you all to contact us after the Academy as well.
Well, again, I wanted to say thank you to Sherry and Cara for offering this presentation today. I think it adds to the overall purpose of the Academy, and I wanted to say very much how very pleased we are to have you and welcome you to the Academy this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we not have any questions?
I mean, we have a number of Girl Scout folks on the call with us, and we would love anyone to share maybe a success story or maybe a challenge, or just would love to hear from you all on the call if that's possible. That wasn't rehearsed, so either Sherry or Bill can talk me down if that's not a good idea.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Would love to maybe hear from, not to put anyone on the spot, but if there's maybe someone from the nation's capital area who might want to share a little bit about their work with faith partners.
Sherry and Cara, do you see the question? How is the Faith Connection information distributed from GSUSA National to individual councils?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking. We do post all faith materials on the GS Connect site. They are posted there. We also work through the channels of Executive Essentials and all of the webinars when new materials are released. We also work with our council thought partners, and I also keep our committee, and I also keep a list of anyone interested in anything new with faith. It's just an informal, almost like listserv. So feel free to just let me know if you want to be added to that list. I see a question maybe for Sherry. Bear with me, I have to scroll back up. But what if your council isn't as supportive as you would like it to be? Do you have any suggestions on explaining the need for collaboration?
Well, I am a member of the membership team in my council, and as I have educated myself and learned more about the opportunities for girls in my community, I have been able to take that back to management and encourage them to consider this as a way to get more girls involved in Girl Scouting, as well as make our program stronger to girls that are already in Girl Scouting. I have been working closely with the membership team to build relationships with churches and encourage them to not only offer meeting space, but also develop relationships with the troop members that are meeting at the churches. Stop into their meetings, invite them to attend church functions and get involved in church activities. And in doing that, it has built the relationships, and management has taken note of that. So I would encourage you to just take the initiative.
Cara, this is Jane Barver from the Girl Scout Council of the nation's capital.
Hi, Jane.
Hi. Our council also, we are part of the case study, the Faith-Based Initiatives case study for this year. But in the past 5 to 10 years, we have really been promoting our membership department, our membership staff to to go into those houses of worship, to form new troops and build those relationships. About 6 years ago, we went to a United Methodist church in the Martinsburg, West Virginia area to do a community-based day camp for non-Girl Scouts. From that relationship, we have formed about 3 new troops that now meet at the United Methodist Church. So it is something that can be done. And now that we are in the virtual way of life, we actually did a training for our membership specialist on how to virtually recruit at houses of worship. So it has been done, and we took the My Promise, My Faith and actually did a virtual sampler that they could use in their churches.
Wow, Jane, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. Here's a question. I'm a Catholic and would love to put together a program for our Catholic girls in our area. However, we have a priest who does not support Girl Scouts. It is my understanding that we need a religious leader to work on many of the awards. Any suggestions? So I'd like to raise that up to anyone who might be able to answer that.
Yeah, I would recommend, if that's the issue, to go through the NC, the region 14, or the region that you're in for the National Catholic Committee for Girl Scouts and Campfire. They should have a chairman and perhaps a chaplain there. If you are in an archdiocese or diocese that has a Catholic committee that supports both programs, such as the Archdiocese of Atlanta, the chaplain there would be a resource as well. Does that help answer the question? If there's more, I can be happy to provide more, but I hope I'm going in the direction that the person was asking. But we do find, I will say, even the Archdiocese of Atlanta, that certain programs are not offered at certain parishes, and that's completely within the discretion of the pastor.
One of the things that becomes an issue too is a lot of the Catholic committees around the country are very light on Girl Scout representatives. And I would recommend that if you're in an area that really does not have a lot of girls on it, or Girl Scouts that are on it, to get involved. Because the more that people are involved in the program, the more you're going to get the visibility and the more you're going to get the support. So I know in South Carolina, we don't have a lot of Girl Scout leaders that are on our committee. So we do what we can in order to meet their needs. But it's much better when you've got somebody on the inside that understands how it operates to do a better job in promoting programs for Girl Scouts.
Thanks, Jim. And I'll just share an additional comment in the chat. Bear with me. I'm going to have to scroll to just find it. Our priest has said some challenging things about Girl Scouts, but when he sat down with my daughter to review her Marian medal work, he was blown away by the content and hard work. So I think helping to make those connections between the values, the religious emblems, and the organizations is great and really helpful. There's a request. I don't know if this is possible from Allison to Jane, if you might have a link to your faith-based recruitment virtual training. Don't know if that's available or not.
I actually, I will work on that. It's actually, I can give it in a PDF. Are you referring to, is she referring to the My Promise, My Faith sampler that we put together?
I'm going to have to ask whoever asked the question to answer that, what you were referring to. And yes, the sampler. So
Absolutely,
yes.
absolutely. I can get a PDF to Cara, and then she can get it out to the Girl Scout councils. Thank you. And I'll also place it on GS Connect.
Great, thank you. And it looks like there's also a request for the faith-based recruitment. So any thoughts you might have on way to share what you've done, or perhaps advice to another council who might wish to set up something similar?
Absolutely. Well, we started this faith-based recruitment initiative case study literally right after the membership conference in February. And so we had to pivot and go virtual, as I stated, with our team. Cara and our hope was to actually have at the conference, the membership conference next year in February, to actually have a workshop. But I would be glad to share anything that we've been doing thus far to anyone that asked. I will type in my email in the chat box.
Thank you, Jane. Really appreciate
You're welcome.
that. And yeah, Nations Cap and Greater Atlanta, a number of other councils have been great partners in really helping us build a case for showing the value of working with faith partnerships from all angles. So I'm very grateful for Jane and Sherry and everyone else who's been working on that. And there is a request. Can you show the Jewish Award slide again, please?
While we're showing these awards, I also want to mention a place of worship sponsorship agreement. This is something that the Greater Atlanta Council is using, and I'll be happy to share that as well. And this agreement is something that is done between the place of worship and the troop leader or service unit. And it asks for certain things to be done by the troop and certain things to be done by the church. Things such as, not only will we respect the property and leave it clean and things like that, but we will connect with the congregation and the church as Girl Scouts. And then it asks the church to connect with the Girl Scouts. So it forms not a charter, but an agreement between the two parties and brings them together. This has been very well received by many pastors and congregations because they're looking for more of a commitment and more of a connection between Girl Scouts and the place of worship.
One of the unique things about the way we formatted that is that it actually offers Girl Scouts will do, and then it has little check boxes. Now you would assume that the Girl Scouts are going to train leaders, they're going to provide program. Those things, the reason they're on that sheet is very specific so that as you sit down with somebody from a church, it gives you the opportunity to check that off and also to say, by the way, do you understand what that means? And it gives you an opportunity to talk about all the amazing and wonderful things that Girl Scouts do, the intentional power that it gives young women to grow up and be kind of amazing women in this world. And so it opens this door to specifically talking about the program, and then it turns around and it gives the church an opportunity to be committed directly to the Girl Scout troop. From the United Methodist, the National United Methodist side of things, we have recommended that these support agreements actually extend for 3 years. So your Girl Scout troop doesn't have to worry about where they're going to meet. That within our denomination, pastors move around a bit, and that helps provide some stability. And we're really excited and supportive of Girl Scouts, and we'd like to see that utilized as a way of helping the church to come to understand that they have a responsibility to care for the Girl Scouts, as well as to enjoy the fact that the Girl Scouts are going to do amazing things with young women.
Thanks. And that's great information. Thank you, Stephen. And there's a follow-up question. Is this information available beyond Atlanta? The lack of chartering can sometimes be a barrier to churches.
The United Methodist Church side has put together a template, and it's in a Word document. The idea would be that it doesn't have to be United Methodist. You can actually take it and use it for just about any religious. It's a houses of worship agreement, and you modify it to which houses of worship you're working with. At the top of it, we actually took the statement on faith and tagged that to the top half of the agreement, so that when you sit down with a faith leader, they actually get to see Girl Scouts direct statement on faith. So you're starting on even ground.
Great, thank you. Are there plans to have faith-based programs shared on GSUSA social media? Yes. Both the upcoming event on June 4th, and also we do promote, for example, when we were working on promoting Girl Scouts Celebrate Faith during Girl Scout Week in March, Girl Scout Sunday, Girl Scout Sabbath, Girl Scout Shema. This year when COVID hit. So houses of worship were literally shutting down that week. So we did some social outreach as best we could, but this year was an anomalous year, we hope. We all hope. I want to circle back. I don't have the exact question, but there was a question about how, I'm paraphrasing, but how religious and faith programming is best dealt with at the council level. So I was wondering, Sherry, if you maybe want to share some thoughts on that.
It depends on how your council's structure, as far as how you work with your volunteers. In the Greater Atlanta Council, we are area executives, so we handle recruitment and membership as well as support to our volunteers. So our team of area executives works directly with our service units to promote the My Promise, My Faith program within the service unit, and encourage a representative from the service unit to help facilitate. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, if whoever had the question, please jump in, either share verbally or on the chat. And while that person might be responding, we have a note from Jen. I'm hoping COVID-19 provides an opportunity to reconnect with faith rather than even virtually, rather than putting things on hold. I could not agree more. It is so important to keep up your faith relationships and partnerships during this time. Let your faith partners know you are thinking about them. Be in touch. Share with them ways that, ask them what you can do to support them. Really build for the future. Don't waste this time. Keep building for the future. Jane and her team are doing a great job of doing how to do virtual recruitment, which is really important for those where you already have faith relationships. Really envision those as a great starting point for expanding your faith partnerships. So if you already have troops or houses of worship where troops meet, this is a great time to talk about expanding to adding new troops or recruiting volunteers. Let them know what Girl Scouts is up to, including everything from, cookie care, Girl Scouts at home. These are great resources for houses of worship to engage girls that are both Girl Scouts and new to Girl Scouts, because everybody has family at home with kids. That none of this was planned. So Girl Scouts now has free activity guides that are curated and based on all of our quality programming available at Girl Scouts at Home. Let your faith partners know about this. Invite them to attend the Interfaith event again, it's to support girls who are both new to Girl Scouts as well as Girl Scouts, just any girl. So really just don't forget your faith partners during this time, because what you're really doing is signaling how important they are to you, and that, you know, we're all in this together, and we're going to continue to build for a future where we'll be serving more girls.
That's very good. And I just want to reiterate, the session that so many have joined is actually originally planned as an in-person event. Cara and Sherry, Jim, and Steve were all coming to Atlanta to present this in person. And so we fashioned it as a Zoom meeting, and the audience has exploded. So we would never have had nearly 400 attendees if it was an in-person event. So anyway, that's my own experience, very short term. But again, this was originally scheduled as an Atlanta event, and by opening it up to the Zoom audience, actually, it increased the availability. So anyway, I guess that's kind of in support of your question or suggestion.
Thanks, Bill. Really good point, and a lot of affirmation to your points in the chat box. So thank you for making this available to so many more people.
Not without struggles, I might add, but we tried.
Yes. Great. So we have a success story, which I'm having just success story. Lanier Service Unit and Girl Scouts of Greater Atlanta hosted the P.R.A.Y program for 10 years now. Many of the Scouts earned their 4-star pin. My troop in the North Cross Service Unit has completed the My Promise, My Faith for 3 years now. We engage the deaconesses, ministers' wives, good Sunday school teachers as facilitators from the church where my troop meets. Thank you. What a great story.
Yeah, I agree. Just a reminder, the next session in this reverent room, I'm not taking away. We still have plenty of time to answer questions for Cara and Sherry. But the next session in this room will be the fireside chat, beginning at the bottom of the hour with Jim Weiskircher. So in the reverent room, the fireside chat will be with Jim in this room. For those that would like to attend the fireside chat on the Methodist side with Stephen Scheid is in the faith room. So those again are both starting at the bottom of the hour. I didn't want to interrupt anymore, but we're still welcome any questions on this current My Promise, My Faith session. And then again, it's also an opportunity to take a break if you needed to before the next session begins.
Kathy Jacobson, can I call on you? You're muted. But Kathy is, I have recently met with her. She is a scout coordinator for us basically at Mount Zion United Methodist Church. And we talked about how to take the next steps. She has several troops that meet there. We recently met with one of the pastors at the church and talked about how can we take some next steps to grow Girl Scouts and youth ministry.
I unmuted her. Kathy, you're able to speak now.
Okay.
Hi.
Kathy, have you made any steps with that or want to share anything?
What we did make one step is we have 5 little girls at our church who we got together on Zoom and did the P.R.A.Y pin with them and their mothers. And so that worked out really well. Also, just a little background, we have a scout lodge at our church. So Mount Zion Methodist in Marietta is very supportive of, as far as they basically dedicated a building to the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and Cub Scouts. And we have 21 Girl Scout troops and then 1 Boy Scout and 1 Cub Scout troop that meet there. And we're also working, well, May 2nd, we were supposed to have a health and wellness fair at our church, and one of the Girl Scout troops was going to teach the junior first aid badge, but we're having to regroup at this point because of the COVID, and we're hopefully going to do it in the fall. And as to how the specifics are now, we're kind of working out with the ministers. But again, we're trying to get that relationship between the Girl Scouts and the church. The Boy Scouts have had a long-term relationship with the United Methodist Men and pancake breakfasts and such. And our United Methodist Women, that's another thing for those of you who are Methodists. Our United Methodist Women has been a long-time supporter. Like we'll make contributions to the Girls' Gold Awards and such. So that's another way that you can get the church involved.
Great. Thank you for sharing, Kathy. And that just came out of us learning more about Kathy's relationship with the church and Girl Scouts and sitting down with the pastor, and that developed into more programming. And there's a couple other people that might be on this call. Sue, I see you. At Dunwoody United Methodist, we're working on the same relationship and building things there. And as a membership person, I'm reaching out to those longtime Girl Scout volunteers and helping bridge the relationship between the place of worship and Girl Scouts. And just because I, like Kara, have a passion for my faith and want to see more girls get connected. So if you have that passion, use it. Go out there and reach the girls.
Wonderful. Thank you. We have a question. Can we do a camp out version of the My Promise, My Faith?
Absolutely. Yes, please. Connect it to one of the RP3 Bible patches if you're Protestant, or if you're Catholic, look at the different opportunities and connect it, and do not just the My Promise, My Faith, but also one of the patches, and have fun. That's what the girls want to do.
All right, again, I'll just do a quick reminder, we'll still take chat questions, but as we approach the bottom of the hour, the next session in this room, the Reverent Room, will be the Fireside Chat with Jim Weiskircher, Jim being the chair of the National Catholic Committee on Scouting. Again, and the Faith Room, Stephen Scheid will be handling the Methodist Fireside Chat in that room. So those are the two final sessions. But we again appreciate everybody's participation today. Continue to stay here as long as you want. There's plenty of time to ask more questions. But again, thanks for everyone for attending and joining today. And then we look forward to getting you, as a point of reminder, I think we've seen several questions throughout the day. The presentations will be made available to the participants after the session via a Dropbox link. And so look forward to that. There's also a survey email, I think that was attached to your original invitation email, a link for that survey to help us prepare the program in future years and get feedback for today. So again, thanks everybody.
Great. Thank you. There was one other real quick question on, does the My Promise, My Faith literature provide tips for how to serve in a multi-faith setting? Cherry, I know you've done a number of these courses. Do you want to speak to that? I don't know if the person who asked the question is still on the call or not, but.
To do the multi-faith setting, it is finding a representative from each faith to work with the girls. That's the key to it.
For the My Promise, My Faith, is that needed, not the religious emblems?
No, I'm sorry. I guess I misunderstood the question.
So the question was, if you are leading a multi-faith, My Promise, My Faith session or activity.
Mm-hmm.
So
the girls are supposed to connect with a member of their faith community. So yes, they would need to find someone from their particular faith to work with. So that's, if you were looking at multi-faith, the best thing probably is to introduce it to the girls with a parent, and then have them do what they can together. And then the part that pertains to their individual faith, do with a parent and a member of their faith community, and then come back, and when they make it their own and they present it to the other girls in their troop or service unit to share.
Good. Yeah, that's been my experience, which isn't as extensive as yours. I have been a volunteer where it went exactly as Sherry said. The troop leader, of course, it was just a troop leader and a volunteer, but the girls connected through their family and through their own faith to do the steps required. But when the girls came together to do their shared troop activity, the troop leader led a multi-faith. So if you're a troop leader, you can lead a multi-faith. And we are actually we're working on some resources to how to do that virtually, which we hope to be releasing in the next couple weeks or so.
Okay, administratively, Sherry, if you could stop presenting so we can transfer